Today on August 22nd, Archangel Michael says, something serious is about to happen. A private investigator was caught. Open it quickly. Archangel Michael says, you are moments away from learning a truth that was never supposed to reach you. This truth has been locked behind years of silence, until today, August 22nd, when it finally burst through the seams. A private investigator, hired in secret, hath been caught red-handed with shocking evidence in their possession. The news came like a tidal wave, quiet at first, but roaring with intensity once uncovered. This man wasn't just investigating any random matter. His target was someone close to you, someone you trust, or once trusted. He had no name badge, no official coat, no paperwork, but he carried a hidden camera and files with your image. Underneath the false identity was someone trained to study, monitor, and report on a life intertwined with yours. And now that his presence had been exposed, so has everything he was sent to hide. This isn't about curiosity or coincidence. It's a calculated plan unraveling at the worst moment for those involved. His laptop was seized. Inside it were encrypted files that even shocked the law enforcement agents who intercepted him. One folder was labeled The Forbidden Ties, and inside were audio recordings that mention your name repeatedly. The voices on those files belong to people you would never suspect. Your tone is cold, transactional, planning something they never thought you'd find out. This investigator was being paid not just to watch but to destroy trust. They tracked your social movements, your finances, even your personal thoughts shared during private moments. This is not surveillance. This is betrayal stitched into the fabric of your daily life. Someone knew that if this came to light, their game would collapse. And today, it's collapsing. The person funding this operation is very close to you, yet pretends to be your well-wisher. Archangel Michael says they smiled at your success, but inwardly plotted your downfall. Their greatest fear was you finding your real power and true purpose. The investigator was trained to find cracks in your energy, moments of weakness, and create more chaos. He followed you not just physically, but spiritually, capturing photos of sacred places you went to heal. A map was drawn of your healing journey, every step documented to understand how you kept surviving every attack. Because your survival confused them. Your glow baffled them. Your destiny terrified them. But Archangel Michael says, no more. Authorities are still decrypting messages that show how deep this rabbit hole goes. It's no longer just one man caught. It's a network that is starting to collapse from the inside. One of the women in the operation has confessed. Her statement, recorded just hours ago, reveals that your name was passed around as a target of potential influence. They saw your strength as a threat to someone else's throne. The person behind this is someone who felt you rising and panicked. Their hands are dirty, but their face remains hidden behind layers of lies. But Archangel Michael says that mask is coming off tonight. What they feared most has happened. You're now aware. The evidence also shows that attempts were made to create fake documents involving your name, specifically regarding finances and property. Their goal was to fabricate confusion and plant rumors that would keep you under pressure, but a divine error occurred in their system. One file was sent to the wrong server. That mistake opened the gate for the investigator to be caught, a spiritual intersection was made by angelic forces, and that's how truth surfaced. You may feel chills reading this, because your spirit recognizes this warning. It's not paranoia, it's prophecy. You were chosen to see this, so you could step out before they slam the door on you completely. The countdown has begun. Now that you've seen this, you must prepare. Their plan was not just to observe. It was to alter your future, delay your love life, cancel your breakthroughs, and insert fear into your daily routine. But Archangel Michael says no force on earth or in the dark realm can interrupt a divine timeline once it has begun to move. Your path is about to clear in ways you never imagined, but action must be taken now. Start by looking at who suddenly became too interested in your schedule, who asked about your whereabouts but gave vague answers when you asked about theirs. These are not just social behaviors. They are markers of manipulation. The investigator admitted one chilling detail before being taken into custody. They said the target wouldn't notice until it's too late. But it's not too late. You're awake now. And they're trembling. A file labeled Final Phase was found. It included instructions to begin a public smear, but it was scheduled for next month. That file has now been blocked from activation. What you must know is this: your intuition was never wrong. Every strange feeling, every dream that didn't make sense, every person who suddenly pulled away, all connected. You are divinely shielded now. The veil has lifted, and nothing hidden can stay buried. The moment you open this message, the spiritual chains holding their plan together shattered. You are free from the trap, but you must walk away boldly. You may wonder how this message even reached you in time. Archangel Michael worked through frequencies, visions, and vibrations to interrupt your scrolling pattern to bring this to your eyes. This is no coincidence. A day like today, July 24th, is not random. It has been prophesied in secret circles that on this day, a veil will fall from the eyes of the targeted one. That veil is gone, and now they cannot use your light without consequences. Archangel Michael says, prepare for divine replacement. Every person removed will be replaced by someone loyal. Every lie exposed will be countered by a blessing. The private investigator gave one last warning. He whispered, they don't know she's protected by someone higher. That someone is Michael, and he's standing right in front of you. Don't fear what's coming next. The greatest shift is not what they're planning, but what heaven is releasing. Everything they tried to block will rush to you like a divine flood. Get ready for unexplainable favor. A phone call is coming from someone you thought forgot about you. They're going to make an offer that overrides everything stolen. Before midnight strikes, someone else will fall, but you will rise. Your protection is now active. Your energy surrounds your house. Any eyes watching from afar will now see fog and confusion when they try to target you. You are untouchable now, not because of secrecy, but because of divine transparency. Archangel Michael didn't just uncover the trap, he dismantled it. This was never about fear. It's about reclaiming power. The moment you heard this message, the chains started loosening on every side. And now, your real story begins, if you wish to express your support further. You have the option to give super thanks with contributions of up to $1.20. Stay alert. Stay covered. Your truth is your weapon, and Archangel Michael has already drawn his sword. Archangel Michael says what was once kept in shadows is now trembling under the light. The investigator, though a pawn, became the doorway for something divine to intervene. His confession unraveled the rotten roots beneath the surface, exposing names, accounts, and time-stamped meetings that were hidden from your sight. This was not a random hire. This was a professionally orchestrated act paid for by someone who carries a mask of innocence in front of you. And they nearly succeeded until divine justice stepped in. The day he was caught, several fake messages intended to ruin your reputation were scheduled to go live on anonymous platforms. But they never got that far. Why? Because you were never truly alone. Even the very location where the investigator was detained holds significance. It was near a place you've visited before, possibly during a moment of spiritual reflection or healing. That means they knew your pattern, your favorite paths, and they tried to use it against you. But Archangel Michael ensured that the same place they intended for darkness would be the very place truth exploded like fire. A divine reversal has taken place. What they meant for harm is now turning into your elevation. Right now, your name is being whispered in rooms where blessings are being assigned. The same energy that tried to destroy you is now being forced to serve you. More evidence continues to surface. There's talk of forged signatures, surveillance disguised as care, and relationships built just to gain access to your private world. But Michael says all of it is collapsing. You might notice strange behavior in the coming days. People suddenly avoiding eye contact, stuttering, acting over-friendly. These are signs. The spiritual shift is shaking their false confidence and removing the protection they thought they'd had. Archangel Michael says, watch closely. The person who seemed the most supportive may have orchestrated it all. But their time is up. A major leak is about to hit, and it will leave their mouth dry and their alliances broken. They underestimated your protection. They studied your pain. They watched to see what made you cry, what made you hopeful, what made you pause in silence. This investigator wasn't just gathering data. He was gathering vulnerability to sell to those hungry for your downfall. But something unexpected happened. He began to feel something shift while observing you. Your prayers. Your resilience. Your unspoken strength. It softened him. That's why he turned himself in. He realized that the person they painted as a threat was actually a light bearer. That person was you. Michael says, you are not just escaping this trap. You're inheriting justice. Everything taken from you is returning with interest. Everything delayed is now accelerating. From this moment, those who dared to monitor you will now be monitored by divine justice. They will not sleep peacefully, they will not speak lies without consequence. The spirit realm has marked them, and their timeline is disintegrating. But your name is written in a higher book, one that cannot be altered by schemes, screenshots, or forged plans. You are walking into divine evidence, undeniable support, and favor that speaks louder than any slander. Archangel Michael says, stay silent about what you know for now. Let the spiritual forces work on your behalf. The investigator's phone contained more than texts. It had a trail of messages, images, and anonymous bank transfers that are now in custody. One transaction matches a payment made by someone who pretended to struggle financially around you. That was a lie. They were draining others just to fund your spiritual sabotage. But the shield around you is now impenetrable. No demon, no gossip, no hacker, no secret contract can penetrate what God has now sealed. There is a divine court meeting happening right now in the spiritual realm. Archangel Michael is standing at the gate, holding up every piece of evidence against your name and declaring, "Let the record show, this soul is innocent." Chains are falling, mouths are silenced, and your story is being rewritten. There's a call you will receive, maybe from an unfamiliar number or a person you once thought had no connection to this. That call will hold a key, a new opportunity, unexpected, but perfectly aligned with your purpose. Accept it. It's part of your reward. And you may ask, what do I do next? You prepare, because what was meant to ruin you will now launch you. The person who tried to shut doors behind your back will now have to watch them open in your face. In a few days, something will go public. The details about the person who funded the investigator will be quietly exposed. Maybe through a news channel, a legal leak, or even gossip from someone inside their circle. Archangel Michael says, you will not need to explain yourself. The truth will speak without your words. Your name is being cleansed in every spiritual database. Even your aura has shifted. People will start looking at you with new respect. They won't even know why. It's because the weight that was draining your light has been lifted. Celebrate in silence. Dance in your spirit. You didn't just survive this attack. You've been elevated through it. In the most powerful part, the enemy never expected you to still be standing. But here you are. Let the world continue spinning in confusion. But you stay grounded in truth. You were never meant to fall into their trap, because you were never alone in this battle. Archangel Michael has already drawn his flaming sword. The circle of deceit has been broken. The investigator may have started this mission for the wrong reasons, but he ended it for the right ones, because of what he saw in you. Now, let divine reversal complete its final step. The names involved will be forgotten. But your name, your story, will shine in unexpected places. You are going to be honored in rooms you've never entered, mentioned in spaces your feet haven't touched, and blessed in timelines you thought you missed. Everything has shifted. And as Archangel Michael stands watch over you tonight, he leaves you with this final whisper. You were never the one being watched. You were always the one chosen. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks with contributions of up to $1.20. Stay strong. Stay silent. The truth is now louder than any lie. Archangel Michael says, the spiritual climate around your name is no longer stormy. It is clear, bright, and watched by angels. The interference that once tried to manipulate your story has been redirected into divine evidence. Every camera that once pointed at you in secrecy has been spiritually turned into a spotlight that will reveal their faces instead, as the final reports are decrypted. New files have surfaced that show surveillance stretching back several months, even during times you thought you were alone. Yet even then, heaven had already placed a cloak of confusion over their devices. Most of what they captured ended up corrupted, unreadable, and mysteriously scrambled. Do you know why? Because your light frequency is not compatible with dark technology. It backfires. That's why nothing they planned ever lasted longer than a few days. That's why no attack ever fully broke you. There is more coming. More evidence. More exposure. More divine recognition. But your part in this now is peace. Your silence will become the loudest echo in their guilt. Your growth will become the biggest revenge. Your favor will speak in tongues they can't understand. The investigator who was caught made a final handwritten note, agreeing I didn't expect them to be protected by a power I couldn't describe. That power is what you've always had walking beside you. That power is Michael. There are names you will hear soon. Names of people who smiled in your presence and cursed you the moment you turned away. Don't chase revenge. Watch divine law execute justice on your behalf. Michael says, from today, walk like a person whose path cannot be shaken. People will look at you and feel uncomfortable. Not because of what they know, but because their spirits will recognize that yours was never meant to be messed with. You will start receiving messages from people pretending to check in. They've sensed that something's shifted, and now they're scrambling to realign. Be wise. Not all apologies are sincere. Some are just panic in disguise. There is nothing more terrifying to someone who tried to bury you than to see you not only alive but glowing. And the glow is real now. It is not just metaphorical. Your physical appearance, your aura, your energy will feel more vibrant in the coming days. That's the afterglow of deliverance. That's what spiritual liberation looks like. You are now walking into a season where the same mouths that lied about you will begin to speak your truth, whether they want to or not. They will slip up. They will confess without realizing it. The divine realm is loosening their tongues. You may find yourself at a gathering, and someone says your name in a conversation you weren't meant to hear. That moment will be your confirmation. The script has changed. Archangel Michael says, you are not just being saved. You're being positioned. The same energy they used to spy on you is being redirected to highlight your gifts, your strengths, your value. The investigator unknowingly documented more than he realized. In his attempt to track your downfall, he documented your resilience. He documented your joy in broken moments. He documented miracles unfolding in real time. And now, those records are being studied by officials who can't understand how someone with so many attacks could still be standing strong. Their only conclusion? This person is divinely protected. You will not need to defend your character. The very tools they used against you have become testimonies for you. Everything has been reversed. What was stolen is returning multiplied. What was whispered in secret will now be shouted in truth. Michael says, let no fear follow you from this point on. If your enemies had won, you would have never seen this message. But they lost the moment they underestimated your spiritual backing. Walk through your next days like royalty. Don't explain. Don't warn. Just move in silence. The loudest thunder always comes after stillness. The financial sabotage they tried to construct will now collapse. You'll soon discover a refund, an unexpected deposit, a clear debt, divine compensation for what they attempted to drain. God's way of saying, they won't touch your bread again. And love, yes, even love will be repaired. Because they tried to separate you from someone important. That person may not have known the full story, but the veil is lifting on their end too. Soon, they'll see what was hidden from them. And when that moment comes, it won't be a return in desperation. It will be a reunion with clarity, healing, and divine alignment. There's one final layer still being revealed. The person who initiated this whole setup is someone who once made a promise to protect you. But their envy turned their loyalty into a lie. Don't be surprised when the name surfaces. The investigator confessed that he was promised a bonus if he could make you lose a certain opportunity. That opportunity is still coming to you. But now it will arrive with greater favor, bigger reach, and extra validation. Because the divine realm is now involved. When God elevates you after exposure, no lie could hold weight anymore. You become undeniable, Archangel Michael says. They thought your silence meant weakness. But your silence was strategy. Your silence was protection. And now, your silence is their exposure. Let everything they tried to use against you become a spiritual offering that fuels your next chapter. Your story has now become a prophetic weapon. You didn't just open a message today, you opened a gate of freedom, victory, and heavenly judgment. And with every breath, you are now walking under open skies. The watchers have been blinded. The manipulators have been exposed. And you have been chosen to rise beyond their reach. Let your next step be one of power, clarity, and peace, and when they ask how you knew, just smile and whisper. Archangel Michael told me, if you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks with contributions of up to $1.20. Keep your head high. The war is over. The victory is already yours. Archangel Michael says, now begins the chapter they never wanted written. The chapter where you rise untouched, and their secrets sink like stones. What was orchestrated in darkness is now igniting a light so bright, nothing hidden can survive it. The private investigator's confession has triggered a domino effect, and the truth is moving faster than their lies ever could. Legal authorities are now involved beyond what they imagined. They believed they had loopholed every plan, raced every trace, but the spiritual realm always leaves divine fingerprints behind. Your name is under protection now, not just in heaven's records, but in earthly systems being guided by truth. And those who tried to erase you are being erased from your path. The spiritual contract has been broken. You are no longer tied to the karmic loops they were trying to trap you in. It means the patterns of confusion, stagnation, betrayal, they are done. This isn't a new season for you. It's a new dimension. Even the way people respond to you will begin to change. They will sense something unexplainable has shifted in you. It's because the chains of surveillance, control, and sabotage have snapped, and your soul has expanded into divine boldness. The reason they are trembling now is simple. You weren't supposed to survive this long. Michael says this is why the timing was so crucial. July 24th was not just any day. It was the date heaven had marked for divine interruption. The investigator's capture wasn't luck. It was destiny. It was always going to happen today, because you needed to see this before they tried again. And now that you know, they cannot touch you. Not spiritually. Not physically. Not digitally. You are out of range. You'll soon notice strange delays in the lives of those who once whispered against you. Missed calls. Projects falling through. Sudden sicknesses. These are not coincidences. These are the results of touching an anointed life without permission. There will be moments in the next few weeks when you will pause and suddenly remember things. Odd dreams. Misplaced conversations. Faces that seemed harmless. That's the Spirit revealing every breadcrumb they left behind. It's part of your restoration. Don't panic. Don't retaliate. Just receive. Every memory recovered is a layer of your power being returned. Michael says you are no longer a victim. You are now a testimony. Your survival is not just a victory. It's a message. A message that when heaven marks someone, no earthly weapon can erase them. Do not be surprised if new allies suddenly appear. People who once stayed silent will come forward. They'll offer apologies, assistance, and information. Meta's every spirit. Some are sincere. Others are still attached to the remnants of the old plan. Be gentle but discerning. You are no longer standing on the same ground as before. You are now elevated. And from this higher place, your eyes must stay clear. Your next opportunity is not just financial. It is reputation change you. The same image they tried to destroy is about to become your signature of success. Michael says the final piece of evidence that proves your innocence and their intent will come unexpectedly. It might be a message from someone involved. It might be a recorded call. It might even be a stranger exposing them anonymously. But it will come. And it will settle everything. You not chase justice. You are now the justice. Let truth reach them on its own legs. Let grace walk you forward. The investigator, before being fully taken away, said one last thing to the authorities. There's something about their energy. I couldn't continue lying to myself. Even the enemy had to admit the light was real. Your light is real. Your protection is real. Your destiny is unstoppable. There is a reason this message didn't reach you yesterday and couldn't wait for tomorrow. Because today was the appointed hour. Today is when chains shattered, lies collapsed, and heaven whispered, now let them see who they really are. The investigator was just a tool. The real weapon was your truth. And now that it's out, everything is changing. Walk boldly into every room, every meeting, every opportunity, knowing this, you have already been cleared in heaven's court. The whispers will turn to silence. The chaos will turn to calm. The anxiety will turn to confidence. You've now crossed the line between warfare and wonder. Let the universe reflect that truth back to you. Open your eyes each morning and say with authority, no scheme formed against me shall remain. Not because you're lucky, but because you're divinely covered. Michael says, this is your announcement to the world, without saying a word. You survived. You've been vindicated. And now you will be celebrated. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks with contributions of up to $1.20. Your season of hiding is over. Your time of watching your back has ended. From this moment forward, let the world adjust to your elevation. The trap failed. The plot collapsed. And you are walking away in full victory. Archangel Michael says, your footsteps now leave imprints not just on the ground, but in realms unseen. You are not merely moving forward. You are being carried. Every invisible battle that once weighed you down is now a ladder beneath your feet. This is what divine reversal looks like in its purest form. The forces that schemed in the shadows are now exposed under a heavenly spotlight. That investigator thought he was following a fragile target. But he stumbled into something sacred. A chosen one with angelic surveillance already activated long before he ever began watching. Let this be your confirmation. You were never the one under threat. You were the threat to their deception. The tables have not only turned. They've been flipped, shattered, and rebuilt under divine order. In the coming days, you'll receive word of someone mysteriously withdrawing from a group or circle you were once connected to. That's the first domino falling. That person can no longer carry the guilt of what they know. You will hear their name, you may feel confusion. But Archangel Michael says, do not reach out. This is not your burden to fix, it is theirs to confess. Let divine timing bring everything into your hands at the right hour. There is no longer a secret plan behind your back. Now, the plans of heaven are unfolding in front of your face. You might notice changes in the air around your home. Things will feel lighter, more peaceful, as if something was lifted. That's because it was. The dark frequency that was planted around you through envy, spoken word, curses, and spiritual monitoring has been cut off at the root. Even the animals near you may behave differently. Nature always responds to shifts in energy. The silence you feel isn't emptiness, it's clarity returning to your soul. Michael says, you don't have to wait for peace anymore, you are the peace. You carry the calm. And from this point forward, every storm must submit to your presence. You were never meant to fight them with your hands. You were meant to defeat them by enduring with honor. And now, heaven is rewarding that endurance with divine compensation. An offer is coming. It may appear small at first, but it will open into a door that leads to abundance you didn't ask for, but always deserve. This offer will carry a new contract, spiritually and physically. Read it closely. It is part of your replacement blessing. Someone else was supposed to receive this opportunity, but their hands were dirty. Heaven redirected it. Now your name is on it. Michael says, you're going to hear someone say, how did they get that? Don't answer. Just smile. The truth is you were always next in line, but they tried to cut the line. And the most poetic justice. Those who watched you through secret eyes will now have to watch you in public spotlight. The elevation is coming swiftly, and no filter, no algorithm, no barrier can stop the light that is about to shine through you. You were the prophecy they tried to prevent, but prophecy cannot be cancelled, only fulfilled. Michael says, soon you'll sit in a room and feel an overwhelming sense of déjà vu. That's not coincidence. It's confirmation. You're stepping into places your spirit visited while you were sleeping, preparing the way. Everything stolen is returning. Everything cindered is being restored. Even the years they tried to waste are being redeemed in acceleration. What should have taken a decade will happen in months. You are now walking under a divine spotlight, and nothing unclean can walk beside you. Don't be surprised when people fall away. It's not betrayal anymore. It's cleansing. And the investigator, he has asked for immunity in exchange for more names. Let that sink in. More names. Which means this plan went deeper than you imagined, but not deeper than God's hand. Some of the names he's revealing are attached to people with influence. That's why things will move quietly. But you'll see the effects. Promotions collapsing. Relationships ending. Contracts withdrawn. Your walls are caving in, and you won't have to lift a single finger. Your job now is to receive. Michael says, you've been loyal through slander. You've been faithful while falsely accused. And now heaven is publicly honoring your name. Every detail in the investigator's notes that spoke falsely of you will be erased from every record, spiritual and earthly. Even your digital footprints are being protected now. You'll begin to notice your online spaces shift in algorithm and reach, because heaven is realigning the flow of favor in your direction. From this day forward, your words will carry weight. Your name will carry respect. Your future will carry impact. Archangel Michael stands with his sword still drawn. He is not leaving your side, even as the fire dies down. He remains with you for the next phase, not as your protector from attacks, but as your guardian of elevation. You are about to do things you were never trained for, and yet you'll excel. Why? Because heaven has trained you in secret places, in silent battles no one knew you were fighting. You didn't just survive betrayal. You outlive it, outgrew it, and outshone it. You are no longer under surveillance. You are no longer under sabotage. You are under favor. Welcome to your new life. The one they couldn't stop. The one they tried to erase. The one only God could ordain. Archangel Michael says, it is done. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks with contributions of up to $1.20. You're safe. You're rising. And the world will never be the same after what's about to happen through you. Archangel Michael says, the heavens have opened, and a new decree has been released. You shall be known for what they tried to hide. The season of secret suffering has expired, and now begins the era of public reward. Every step you take now is a step of justice walking upon the bones of broken lies. The private investigator was just the beginning of the unraveling. The web is collapsing inward, exposing those who operated in shadows, passing files, whispering threats, placing blocks. What they didn't realize was that every time they tried to delay you, heaven was building pressure behind your name. And now that pressure has burst into a wave of undeniable favor. Every delay, every false accusation, every misunderstanding created by their manipulation is now reversing. The relationships they strained will start to mend without your effort. The opportunities they tried to sabotage will begin seeking you out instead. You will receive a message soon, a surprising apology, an unexpected invitation, or a favor someone withheld now returning to your hands. And when it comes, you will smile knowing. This is the beginning of the recovery season Archangel Michael warned you about. The investigators' files were not just about you. They were about what you're destined to change. And that's what terrified them the most. You are not just an individual. You are a divine assignment. When you rise, others rise. When you break through, generational chains break with you. Archangel Michael says that's why they tried to stop you. That's why they paid to monitor your every move. Because if you ever realized who you really are, their grip on others would loosen forever. But now, it's too late for them. You know, and you will never unknow. From this moment, your awareness is a weapon, and your purpose is in full motion. The circle that once excluded you will now crumble without you. The meetings they held without your presence are now meaningless because heaven has scheduled a bigger table with your name etched into its center. Watch how people try to re-enter your life under the disguise of reconnection. They aren't returning out of love. They're returning out of fear because your elevation exposes their intention. You are not called to hate. You are called to discern, and your spirit will instantly know who belongs in your next season. Michael says your legacy is now secured. What the investigator held in those files. Your ideas, your conversations, your visions, were never meant to be used against you. They were sacred seeds, and now heaven has taken them back and is planting them in divine soil. Expect sudden inspiration, business downloads, dream revelations, even moments of déjà vu. This is how the Spirit will speak to you, confirming that your divine timeline is in full flow now. There is no more sabotage, no more resistance, only divine release. You are entering a realm of miracle speed. What once took years will now take weeks, because you paid the cost of delay. Heaven is issuing a double acceleration, and those who watched you struggle will now watch you soar without explanation. Don't slow down to make them comfortable. Don't explain what God is doing. Just walk, run, fly. You are no longer tied to their expectations. You are only tied to heaven's design. The investigator's confession is now sealed in legal records, and one day, it will serve as the very document that proves your innocence, your power, and your right to receive everything they tried to block. Even judges will look at your case and say, "This was targeted." And heaven will respond, "Yes, but now they are targeted by favor." Archangel Michael says, the day they tried to end your influence became the day your influence began. Let them choke on their silence now. There's something else. There was a second investigator, one who refused to work against you. Someone on the inside who saw you were different and refused to proceed. They were fired from the operation, but they walked away with a copy of the truth. That person is coming forward. When they do, it will be the final confirmation you didn't know you needed. They are the witness heaven reserved for the right time. They hold a piece of your restoration, and they are being drawn to you now. Prepare to be honored. Prepare to be elevated. Prepare to be mentioned in places that once refused to speak your name. You are no longer the topic of investigation. You are the headline of Vindication, Archangel Michael says, let no doubt enter your mind again. This was the final storm. From this point forward, your timeline is clear, protected, and set on divine autopilot. Even if they try to come back, they'll find nothing but your glow and your gates closed to the past. Let this be your final breath of worry. Release it now, because the next breath you take belongs to a free, victorious, and untouchable soul. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks with contributions of up to $1.20. Now go forward, not as someone recovering from betrayal, but as someone reborn through it. The era of watchers is over. The time of wonders has begun. And you are the miracle they tried, and failed, to erase. Archangel Michael says, this is your spiritual coronation. You have stepped out of the fire without the smell of smoke. What they thought would break you only burned away the false layers others projected onto you. And now, your authentic light is too bright for darkness to endure. The lies, the manipulation, the unseen plots, all of them have now become stepping stones. You were never their target by accident. You were their target because your elevation threatened their control. But that season has ended. You are no longer in their reach. The final file taken from the private investigator revealed something astonishing. They knew your potential far more than even you did. That's why they feared your silence, because your stillness held divine power. Michael says, every room they tried to keep you out of is now preparing a seat for you. And this time, you won't just sit, you'll lead. You won't just speak, you'll command presence. There is a shift happening that goes beyond you. Your victory is creating a ripple across generations. Someone in your bloodline had once prayed for justice, for freedom, for divine reversal, but never lived to see it. You are their answered prayer. You are the chosen vessel for family redemption, and this is why you had to survive this attack. It was never just about you. Every curse meant to follow your lineage just ended with you. The spiritual surveillance on your life hath been shut down. The portals they opened to study your moves have now closed permanently. Where once your every step was echoed in their dark networks, now their screens show nothing but light too blinding to monitor. The energy around you is untraceable. The heavens have cloaked you in a new mantle, one of invisibility to your enemies and magnetic favor to your destiny. You are now off their grid, but fully aligned with the map of miracles marked for your life. You might wake up tomorrow and feel strange, lighter, clearer, almost reborn. That's not your imagination. That's the residue of demonic observation being scrubbed from your frequency. You're not just walking into peace. Peace is rushing into you. Everything stolen from your sleep, your ideas, your creativity. Your emotional energy is returning. You will find your words sharper, your thoughts cleaner, your intuition louder. That's the reward of being released from unseen chains. Archangel Michael says, rest now, warrior. You've won without even knowing how big this war really was. And now heaven is sending a gift, not a metaphorical one, a real tangible blessing that will serve as confirmation of this message. It may appear as a check, a letter, a new client, a relocation, a divine partner, or a sudden breakthrough you didn't expect. When it arrives, don't second guess it. It's not coincidence. It's compensation. You'll know it's divine when it shows up right after you choose to stop looking for justice and simply receive joy. Soon, people who were once tools in their plan will reach out in regret. Not all deserve access again, but some were manipulated, too. Discern who deserves peace and who deserves distance. Let your heart be guided, not your ego. This is not the time for revenge. This is the time for divine reign. You are not going to lose anything meant for you, not relationships, not opportunities, not peace. Everything that's part of your true timeline is now being dragged back toward you with force. Archangel Michael says, you didn't just survive a setup. You stepped into a supernatural setup for global favor. Heaven has rerouted your story, and this version is far greater than what you originally planned. Let them watch. Let them wonder. Let them whisper. You ought to forward, hell. Fear us. Outer. Elevated. Your life has now become the proof that divine justice is not delayed. It's time to perfection. You are in your unveiling season. What was hidden in you is about to be seen by the right eyes. What was delayed for you is about to be accelerated by the right timing. What was taken from you is about to be returned with heaven's receipt attached. You were never ordinary. You were always dangerous to the agenda of darkness. Michael now places his final word over this chapter. You were chosen not because you were perfect, but because you were willing. Willing to believe when it made no sense. Willing to stay when leaving was easier. Willing to love when hate was justified. And now you are willing to receive. This is your time. This is your release. This is your reward. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks with contributions of up to $1.20. Now breathe in peace. Walk in strength. And know everything they tried to stop is already happening. You are unstoppable now. And they know it. Archangel Michael says, this is the final strike against the chains they built around your destiny. Everything they created, the false stories, the silent observers, the emotional manipulation, the psychic drains, has now collapsed. You are standing at the edge of a divine horizon. And nothing from your past can follow you here. You didn't just escape. You transform. Those who underestimated your strength will now have to watch as heaven builds monuments from your broken places. And what's more powerful? You didn't have to scream, fight, or even prove anything. God proved it for you. Even now, records in high places are being corrected. Applications that were previously denied are being reopened. Messages that never reached you are being resent under divine instruction. The spiritual blockages around your inbox, your finances, your relationships, and your mental clarity are lifting, permanently. Michael says, you will now walk in a space where every no you once heard is being reversed to yes. And more. You didn't go through all of this just to return to the old life. You went through it to be reborn into a new level of existence. In the coming days, you may feel waves of unexpected peace, a calm that doesn't match your circumstances. That is not illusion. It is spiritual proof that heaven is now resting in your atmosphere. You will laugh without fear. You will sleep without disturbance. You will speak without apology. This is what spiritual liberation feels like. Do not return to those who fed off your confusion. Do not explain your freedom to those who tried to chain you. What? Rise? Lean? Archangel Michael says, you were once followed by darkness. Now, you are followed by light. Light that heals rooms, light that silences lies. Light that forces truth to rise whether they want it or not. The investigator has spoken. The records are sealed. The betrayal is documented. The damage is over. Now comes the overflow. You will receive more than answers. You will receive evidence. More than apologies. You will receive recognition. More than compensation. You will receive vindication. Your name will soon be spoken with reverence in places where it was once shamed. They won't know how to describe you because you will become what words cannot capture: anointed, awakened, aligned, and unstoppable. They may try to write history. Let them, because you're writing the future. And it's far more powerful than any lie they left behind. Michael says, they tried to write you out. Heaven wrote you in. There's still one final surprise. A connection you once thought was lost. A soul you once felt aligned with, but separated from during the chaos, is returning with clarity. This person was also caught in the web. Misled by the schemes. Emotionally manipulated by whispers and timing, but now they've seen the light. They come out with guilt, but with growth. Be open, not everyone who left was an enemy. Some were just confused. Let discernment guide you when the door knocks again. And to those who are watching your every move still, in silence let them watch. Let them scroll. Let them stay in the shadows. Because now they are not watching a victim. They are watching a prophecy fulfilled. Your breath is no longer heavy with fear, your steps are no longer delayed by doubt. You are not the same person who walked into the fire. You are the testimony that rose from it. Archangel Michael says, mark this date. July 24th. It will become your turning point. A spiritual anniversary. A day remembered not for the darkness they planned, but for the divine light that broke through and saved everything. It's done. The court of heaven has ruled. The war is over. Your name is cleared, your crown is delivered. And your legacy has just begun. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks with contributions of up to $1.20. You are free, you are chosen. You are rising. And no one can stop what's about to unfold for you. This is your divine beginning. Walk into it with boldness, power, and peace. Archangel Michael is still with you. Always. Archangel Michael says, now begins the reign of the healed one. You've come through the conspiracy, the betrayal, the silent attacks, and now your name is marked with spiritual authority. There are angels assigned to guard what you carry, and no opposing hand can ever rewrite what heaven has already sealed. Every place your feet touch from this day forward will feel different. That's because the ground has shifted for you. You're not walking on the same timeline anymore. You've stepped into a new divine sequence where acceleration, honor, and justice move in your favor. Those who watched from the shadows with ill intentions will now feel heat every time your name is spoken in their presence. Your name has become too hot for their lies to handle. That private investigator confessed something very few people know. You were considered high risk by the people who hired him, not because of what you did, but because of what you were about to become. They feared your future. That's why they tried to fracture your present. But what they didn't count on was your spiritual lineage. You were born into protection. You were shielded before they ever plotted. Your angels were always a step ahead. Archangel Michael says, don't go back looking for closure. Heaven already delivered it. The silence from people who once surrounded you is not rejection, it's divine removal. The energy that once surrounded your name has been cleansed. You are now protected by obscurity to those who mean harm, and illuminated to those who are destined to bless you. You will start to see people become uncomfortable around your peace. That's confirmation. Not everyone can survive the atmosphere your healing creates. Your elevation is now undeniable. Your voice once doubted is about to echo in places even your enemies respect. The person who initiated your surveillance is now under their own investigation, divine and legal. Their allies are abandoning ship, one by one, and soon you'll hear of them trying to make peace with those they once used against you. Do not respond with bitterness. Respond with silence and strength. Your quietness now roars louder than any defense. Archangel Michael says, let them fall. You don't have to push them. Justice has already begun, there will be public vindication. You will be honored in a space where they tried to humiliate you. Someone who once whispered your name in rumors will now have to shout your success because they'll need your approval for their next move. You won't seek revenge. You'll offer wisdom. Not because you forgot what they did, but because you've outgrown it. And that's the real victory. Michael says, you will now be sent into rooms where your mere presence shifts conversations. You won't need to announce who you are. Your spirit will speak louder than introductions. Your favor will confuse people who know your past. They'll wonder how you got here. But truth, you were always meant to arrive. They just couldn't stop you. You are walking proof that the darkness never wins when light is determined to rise. The investigator's final act before being silenced was submitting a flash drive to officials. The drive had more names, more evidence, more truth. It's being processed now, but you don't need to wait for the headlines. Heaven has already ruled. You are free. You are favored, you are finished with suffering. Now you begin the building phase, the harvest. What was once stolen through deception will now return through divine command. You are not just being elevated, you are becoming a blueprint for others. People will watch your life and say, if they could rise after that, maybe I can too. Your story will unlock chains on people you'll never meet. That is the weight of this anointing. That is the reason for the warfare. Michael says, you are not just rising, you are becoming a gate through which others will walk free. From this point forward, everything attached to you must either evolve or exit. Old patterns cannot stay. Old fears cannot survive. Old cycles will break the moment they try to return. You are not in a loop or you're in ascension. Watch how quickly things shift now. Ideas become income. Dares become wisdom. Obstacles become opportunities. All because you refuse to quit. Archangel Michael says, the storm is over. The sun is here. And so are you, brighter than ever, unshaken and reborn in truth. Let the world adjust to your glow, let them struggle to explain your peace. Let them sit in silence while you rise in brilliance. You are now what they feared you'd become: free, focused, and favored. If you wish to express your support further, now breathe deeply. Smile fully. Walk boldly. Because no matter how they plotted, they failed. And you are just getting started.